This is the Pete Wong Podcast, sharing the things that I love with those that I love. I've always wanted to talk about the things that I care about in life. People have told me time after time, why don't you just share more of you? And with that, let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's The Pete Wong Podcast. How are you all doing? I know lots of things might seem crazy right now, but stay strong, stand tall, and we can get through this. Today is, tonight that I'm recording this, it's actually Martin Luther King Day. And I've been, if you follow me on social media, I've been posting a lot about him. I post an art drawing, illustration, exercise that I did over the weekend. And I just think it's important that we celebrate and honor not just Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also those that continue his legacy, continue what he started, what he fought day in and day out and sacrificed and believed in with all his heart, all his might, and all his being. I was on social media and I was looking at the King Center. Bernice King, one of the daughters of Dr. King and Coretta King Scott, said that we should also, on this day, remember her mother. And I've been posting this morning about that, and I think that we need to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also celebrate those that also believe in what he believed in and support what he believed in. We can look in ourselves daily and channel that and honor that and celebrate that. I've just been having it on my heart all day and spending with the people that I love and cherishing the time together today as we celebrate and honor. First of all, I would like to start out by saying thank you to those of you that took the time to listen to the previous episode regarding my friendship with Jin Park. To be able to share that with friends of his and other fighters that trained with him, I'm just deeply grateful. Just wanted to thank everyone that has taken the time to listen. For this episode, I wanted to go back a couple of weeks, and I know we're already into 2021, but I had this story, this event that happened to me on Christmas Eve, and it's been sitting on my heart. I thought that it would still be relevant to share it with all of you, and though I've been okay with what happened, I thought that you might still get something from me sharing it. Hopefully, if you bear with me, you will, by the end of it, the story will resonate with some of you or some of the aspects. So it was Christmas Eve. It was in the evening, and I was on my way to my girlfriend's apartment. It was around 8 o'clock. I waited because the snow emergency did not end till 8 o'clock, so I waited. That night, the roads were a little slippery, and it was cold, and I believe even the snow started falling. That's right, because we did have Christmas Eve snow. So I was singing probably some Christmas songs in the car because I was excited. I was looking forward to my first Christmas Eve back in my hometown, but also with someone I really enjoy being in her company. And we were going to spend Christmas Eve together for the first time. I knew that parking was going to be interesting because in that area, you just never know. I told myself, you're going to find parking. It's going to just appear. I've been practicing this manifesting things. And so inside my head, I came up with a thought. I told myself, you're going to get a spot right in front of her apartment. It's going to happen. It's your night. We're going to do it. Sure enough, I found a parking spot open right in front of her apartment. I was super excited, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a great start to Christmas Eve. Thank you." And then I was still bopping to the music, and then I saw a gentleman, probably in his 50s, and right away, something in my body felt like I've been here before. Something in my body told me this guy is going to ask for help. He's going to ask for money. When this happens to you, I want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Some of us feel very comfortable when people approach us. Some of us try to bat an eye and put our head down and avoid them altogether. I remember an experience. I was sitting around with my mentor, and he said something to me that it's stuck with me. When people ask for something, whether someone begs for loose change or whatever you can offer, he said to me, and I don't remember word for word, so I apologize. I'm not trying to plagiarize his wording, but I want to share what he shared because it stuck with me. It's stuck with me since. And he said, whenever people come up to you, he looks at it as a blessing, that we should pay respect to them, and if we can, give back, because we never know who that person is. We never know that person could be a prophet, a teacher in disguise. By you turning away from them, you are turning your way from a great lesson or a great opportunity, a great experience. Ever since then, I shook my fear of not knowing whether to give or whether to face that person. And again, you always have to use your best judgment in any given situation. I'm not saying every situation is the same. But I just know for me, I took a lot of levity in knowing that and having that a part of me now. So when I saw this man come up to my window, it was Christmas Eve. And my heart is already warm, quote unquote warm, to use as a metaphor. But on this evening, it was extremely warm, like a hot cocoa in a winter storm. I was ready to help this man however I can, but not knowing what that meant. I had already taken off my mask and I rolled down the window. I didn't roll down my window all the way. I rolled it down a little bit and I was like, oh crap. I reached and put on my mask and I rolled down my window a little bit. He started pointing, in that direction. He was like, hey man, my car broke down. My family, something about his family stuck. I have a tow truck on the way. I just need some help with, I left my money, my card, at home. 9 times out of 10, on a different day, had I heard that story being told in that exact order, I feel like I've heard that before. I feel like I've heard that before. I decided that there's lots of red flags, meaning I decided when I hear that story in that order, this guy's, I'm thinking this guy's not legit. I'm thinking he might be trying to con me. But for some reason, I was in a different state of mind that evening. I was like, there was a part of me that was like, oh man, this guy is bullshitting me. And then the other, I was like, just give him a chance, Pete. He might be telling the truth. And I think I thought that way because I think I'm changing. I'm wanting to take more chances being a person that I've never been before. And so I'm not saying that anyone that comes to me, I think that they're con people or trying to con me. But it's more like, I think I always felt like I needed to protect myself. But for some reason, I wasn't afraid. For some reason, I had a lot of faith, a lot of confidence in the situation, in myself. And I also just didn't think anything was going to happen bad. I don't know why I did it, but I decided to listen go all in on his story. And this guy was, standing there out in the cold. It's Christmas Eve. And he's telling me all about him, who he is. I guess trying to prove to me that he's, being honest. And, he's telling me where he lives. He's telling me where he works and, giving me his name. It was just weird because I wasn't trying to think that this guy's conning me. The only thing I could think about was, it's Christmas Eve. It's cold. It's super cold. If this guy's story is real, if this guy's story is the real deal, and if I turn him away when other people probably already turned him away, I don't think I would be satisfied or content with my choosing, with my choice. You listeners, you probably think I'm nuts and crazy. I don't know. Let's just say I didn't turn the guy away when he came and circled around and got into my car. I don't encourage anyone to allow strangers to enter your car. Please don't do that. Don't follow my footsteps. Normally, again, 9 times out of 10, I would not have done that. I just didn't care that night. He got in my car and he was telling me, please, man, I could really use your help. And I was like, okay, how can I help you? And he said, I just need some money to pay this tow truck. And he's like, I'll pay you back. He's like, I'll give you your money back. Silly me. I just said, I was hesitant at first. And in fact, I didn't have cash on me. But let's just say I didn't have cash on me, and we went as far as me Venmoing him money. I knew that I had enough in my Venmo. And in fact, that morning, I had just checked my Venmo. So I told myself, if this guy asks me for a certain amount, and if I have it in my account, no matter what, I'm just going to give it to him. Before recently, when it came to things like money, I was very cautious about that. I was very, you could call it frugal, but you could also call it stingy. And that's something that I've had to work on myself. And I share this because I think many of us have this way of thinking. I believe that I grew up with this mentality that I never would have enough money or I would just get by. And when I was going through my meditation, my transformation, I learned this word abundance versus lack. And I never knew that word abundance before. I never knew the definition. I never knew it existed. And I never applied it, that's for sure. But I definitely applied that word lack. I just been feeling very blessed, as I shared in the previous episodes. Lots of things have been turning around for me. The things that I have mentally envisioned for myself, they've been coming true. Maybe not exactly, but I've been fulfilled in ways that I haven't been before. And I'm so grateful. And I continue to work hard, continue to dive deeper into this manifestation because I feel like it's working. I'm finally becoming that person. I mean, not just finally, because I believe ever since I made the decision to change, to be someone that I've always wanted to be, I've continued this process. When that man, that older gentleman, was sitting in the car from me and asked for money, I wanted to be that person. I wanted to begin to practice. What is it like to have enough or have so much that giving a couple $100 is like change, like loose change? You know, even me saying that is kind of difficult. I kind of like hesitate because I'm not used to that. But I'm trying to become that person, because someday I want to be that, I can't even say the word, philanthropist, different entrepreneurs that I look up to, or the heroes that I look up to, that not only donate their time, but donate monetary. I didn't grow up knowing that I can do that. I didn't grow up thinking that I had this ability. I always felt like I didn't have enough. I always felt like I was scrounging. I always felt like I was grinding just to make enough. But not anymore. I know that I can have an abundance. As I sat in the car with him, I just told myself, I've been blessed. Let me just give back. And though there was a little voice in me that was scared and felt like, well, what's going to happen if this guy cons you? What happens if this guy isn't real? I said, what the heck? And so the guy's sitting there pleading. He's sitting there, and I'm kind of hesitating. I'm like debating, because I decided I'm going to give him $100. I've never done that before. I've never just given someone I've never met before $100. I've never given even $50. Part of me is embarrassed to say that. Part of me is just fine with that. But it's something that I'm working on myself. I'm growing from. He was pleading to me. He was like, man. He was like, please. And he held his hand out, and he's like, man to man. And inside, I'm like, don't do that. Don't say that you're honest, you're truthful, you're crying in front of me, and you end up lying to me. Because it takes a strong, confident, assured person, not just a man, to be truthful, to be honest, to have integrity. And he was crying his eyes out right there. A grown man in his 50s crying his eyes out and holding his hand, man to man, I'm not lying. I don't know if he actually said those words, but so I said, okay, let's do this. So I sent him the money. And then he pointed that way because a part of me was struggling whether I should go drop him off so then I can actually see where he's at. But then a thought came up to me. A thought came up to my mind, which was, well, what about if I drive him and it's not real and he takes me somewhere? Now I'm alone in an environment I'm not used to. Who knows where he's taking me? Another idea I had was to go get my girlfriend so she could come with me. But then I thought, now I'm putting my girlfriend in danger. So I just said, I can't drop you off anywhere. I'm sorry. And he said, okay, no problem. I can walk. When he said that, something in me was like, oh, wow. You just got conned. If it's that easy for him to get out and walk, it probably wasn't legit. But at the same time, I was also in a situation where I wasn't sure what to do. So the money was already in his account. I saw him get out and he walked the opposite direction. I felt so stupid. I sat in the car and I was like, man, you're so stupid. Why'd you do that? All you had to say was no. But then I took a deep breath and I said, no matter what happens, you're not going to let $100, this material thing, if money is energy, if money is something that comes and goes, what I'm learning, if money is not something that has an end and a beginning and that's it, it's something you can refurbish, something you can continue to recycle in a way, then I'm not going to let this thing hold me back from enjoying my evening. I'm not going to ruin it for my girlfriend. I'm going to make sure that she has an amazing holiday. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be in the right state of mind because I had already made the choice. And so I went in and I wanted to tell her right away. And I said, I got to tell you something. And she was sitting down on the couch and she was like, okay. She was sitting on the couch and I said, something just happened to me. I feel really stupid about what I did, but I don't regret doing it. And then I went in and told her what happened. I so appreciate her because what she said to me helped lighten the weight that I had put on my shoulders for making that choice. She said, whether, again, I don't know if it's word for word, but she said, whether that man was legit and honest with you, or whether he was lying to you, your heart was in the right place. And that's all that matters. When she said that, I felt happy. I still was thinking about it, but I felt loved. I felt like she cared enough to see me for me and did not look down on me for the choice that I made and gave me the confidence, the encouragement that whatever choice that was made, it's okay. And let's just enjoy the evening and Christmas as well. That night, though it was partially in my head still, I chose not to put it. I decided to not give it energy and try to quiet that noise and try to turn up the volume to being present with her and being present in all the things that we're sharing regarding our evening together. Let me just tell you, it was an amazing rest of the evening. I didn't think about it as much, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I didn't wake up in the middle of the night and had some thoughts about it. I felt a little embarrassed that that I was doing that, but I mean, that's the battle. That's the thing that I'm dealing with. My relationship with money. Something really cool came out of that evening. It's our first Christmas together. Like I said, we never discussed specifically about exchanging gifts and that kind of stuff. But once I knew that she had a gift waiting for me, I hurried and got on Amazon and bought something that I thought was really that would be special for her. But I was late, and it would arrive after Christmas. But it's all good. But I did have a present for her. I made a present for her and brought that over. But we had discussed whether to open presents on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. And in my family, we used to open presents on Christmas Eve. And in her family, she used to open on Christmas Day. She said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Let's open tonight." And then I said, "Actually, you know what? Let's open." I thought about her tradition, and I said, "Let's wait. Let's open on Christmas Day." Later that evening, she's like, "Actually, I veto our decision. I want us to open tonight." And I said, "Oh." I was like, "Well, okay, why the sudden change? Why tonight?" And she looked at me with these beautiful gazing eyes and cute, facial expression like she has. And she said, "I thought that I want you to open your present tonight because I thought it'd be fitting for what happened." And or I'm not sure if she used the word fitting, but she said for what happened. And I just knew, okay, I trust her. I felt that she was up to something, but up to something very good and healthy for us. So we did. And I opened the present, and it's in the other room, so I don't have it here, but I'll tell you what it is. It is T'Challa in the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, the actor as T'Challa in the Black Panther suit when he comes back and he's walking, and I think it's like die cast. It's like you don't see the details, but you see the shape and then the colors, and then on top, this is what it says. Okay, so it says, "Black Panther, in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe." One of my favorite sayings that my mentor introduced to me, I hope I don't butcher it, the meaning, but it's an African saying, and it's been translated in different ways, but I just love the way that he introduced it to me, so that's what I'm going to share with you. The saying is Ubuntu, and it is "I am because we are." Ever since he introduced that saying to me, that word, Ubuntu, I always turn to that. Because if everything is connected, if your choices in life affect my choices in life, if my choices in life affect you, then I would be more mindful about how I treat myself as well as I treat others. And I'm just so grateful and so honored to receive that as my Christmas present, because I hang it up proudly. I mean, I hang it up proudly now, but at that moment, I really needed that. I really needed to be reminded that I'm a warrior. That my integrity, my strength outweighs any monetary transaction. And it just gave me comfort knowing that whether this man the next morning, as he said, would pay me back or not, it doesn't matter. That money that I gave him would help him, but maybe it would not help him as he said. Maybe that money that I gave to him was like a Christmas present for him and his family or whoever. And however he spends it is how he spends it. And that's on him. My conscience is clear and I know who I am. I wanted to share that with all of you because I wonder if any of you out there, you listeners, have gone through something similar or a situation similar. And if someone lied to you and was not honest, how did that make you feel? Did you hate yourself for a while? Did you hold on to that? Meaning, were you attached to those feelings? Were you attached to feeling betrayed, feeling taken advantage of? I'm curious to hear your stories. I'm curious to know how you handle it. I'm curious to know whether... I'm just curious. I just shared with you my story, my experience this past Christmas Eve. I just want to encourage those of you out there, if something like this happens to you, it's okay. And it's okay to just let it go and just let it be. Don't let it weigh on your shoulders, because the important thing is knowing your truth, knowing where you stood, and knowing where you're going. Meaning, I feel for people who have to beg for money, who have to steal, deceit, and betray others. It's a world that I try not to surround myself with, because in the past, when I was younger, I had a lot of difficulty being around that, and I felt very fearful of my life and uncomfortable in a way I didn't want to be in. So I've done everything that I can to, in a way, it is a void, but I still empathize with those that are in need. My values, my choice of living is not to deceive people, is not to lie, is to be truthful. And I know that's not for everybody. And I was talking to my sister the next day about this. And she said, in some recent conversations she's been having with her friends, they've been talking a lot about how with the pandemic, people have become more desperate and more needy, but also having a hard time finding ways of being truthful and honest about their struggles, their situation. They come up with creative ways, or in some cases, not telling the truth or bending the truth or conning others and stealing from others. Though I am not in support of us living life not being truthful, I've also learned I'm not that person. I also have to learn to respect another person's situation. I may not agree with what they do, but I have to learn, as I always say, I love others and I empathize with others. So I need to continue to work on noticing all shades of them, even the stuff that they are struggling and dealing with, and hopefully able to persevere and overcome. I hope that some of you will share with me your stories. I hope that what I've shared with you gives you encouragement, gives you comfort, gives you possibly a solution. It was important for me to share this because part of me knows this experience, there were many lessons. A lesson on my relationship with money and even the growth that I felt there. Lessons about being grateful, empathizing with others, what it's like to be loved by someone, and how they can truly support you and lift you up more than you could ever imagine if you are present and mindful of them just as much. Lots of lessons. If it weren't for that event, I would never have experienced Christmas Eve like I had, and I respect that. That's it for this episode, this week's episode. Please, I look forward to hearing your stories, your feedback, you sharing with me. We're going to be lining up some guests here in the upcoming weeks. So just continue to look forward to that. It's planning things out, lining up the schedule, but some very exciting new guests are on the horizon. I'm really enjoying the different conversations, the different topics that I've been having dialogues around, and providing others with my perspective, the things that have helped me, the things that I care about. And I wanted to just put out there, if I were to do a weekly conversation, a weekly 1 to 1.5 hour conversation, picking a topic, I'm curious to know how many of you would sign up for that. Let me just be honest here. Since COVID, I haven't been working. I've been on unemployment, and it's going well. It's going fine, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen once the unemployment is over. But I've been enjoying leaning more into my purpose and the things that drive me, and going deeper into the things that I enjoy and the skills that I have and the skills that I'm developing. So I enjoy providing tools and providing options and possibly solutions for others. Talk about specific subjects and topics that matter in your lives. And through our conversation, I help facilitate your needs and share with you the things that I know truly help me. So my question is, if I were to set up something for a small fee, how many of you would sign up for something like that? Either it would be in a group for that week, or it would be like a personal session. Just wanted to check in with you listeners and see if it's something that you would be interested in. Please leave me a comment. You can email me at thepetewongpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know. Let me know if you're interested And if you are, we'll get started. I am also doing a Thursday night session. Right now, it's kept to a small group that when we were in our third week coming up, and it's going great. It's going fantastic. That is a ongoing course. And if you're interested in signing up for that, please let me know about that. That one is ongoing. So consistency weekly is part of that. But if you are just interested in the topics, I don't even have a name for it yet, but we'll call it topics for now. The weekly topics, that is just letting me know you wanna be in on this session that week, and then we'll just get you in there and we'll just have a great session together. So if you are, let me know. You can find me on social media at PK Wong or the Pete Wong Podcast. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and honor and celebrate yourself as well as the people that you love in your life. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Blessings to all of you.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. And remember, you are loved, you are enough, and you are worthy. Blessings to all of you.